I just broke my eyeshadow palette and it smashed on the floor. Hello YouTube humans and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amy and today I am going to be taking you through my top 5 makeup brands and my favourite products from those makeup brands. I've been really, when I think about it, I've only been a makeup lover for maybe 5 years, and I'm going to be 26 on my next birthday. So it's something that I'm still relatively new to. I really don't know a lot. YouTube helped, YouTube definitely helped, but these are products and brands, particularly the brands themselves, that I have completely fallen in love with and would recommend these to anybody. I think they've got some really standout products. The formulations work really well on my skin and they don't irritate me or break me out at all. And I've got a range of prices in here from like well, drugstore-ish prices, right the way up to more high-end, not like 80-90 quid, but you know, getting up there. But these are products that I have used and loved for years. The brands particularly themselves, like, I have never really had a bad product from them. So we'll just dive straight into it. These are in no particular order. These are just brands that I have loved for years. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is MAC. Now MAC was the first makeup brand that I ever properly like bought makeup from, because I thought that was like the brand to buy makeup from, and it was, and it still does do really good products. For me, it makes my favourite foundation of all time. It makes one of my favourite primers of all time. I love their lipsticks, I love all sorts, but the products that I have to talk to you about today are kind of classic staples within your makeup bag that I do think really you should have. So the first one is MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. If you are an oily skinned girl, you need this foundation. It's relatively affordable in terms of foundation. I think when you're getting into like higher end foundation, you're talking like £30 for a foundation. This is like 24, I think, and you get 30 mils of product. It's got an SPF 15 in it. The only thing is it doesn't traditionally come with a pump, but you know, that's something that I can overlook because I love the product inside. Really long wearing foundation. Done a full review video of it on my channel, as I have actually all these products I'm going to talk about. I did a full face of MAC, so I'll link that down below in the description box for you guys. But wealth of shades, really long lasting, like possibly my favourite foundation of all time. Then I have MAC Warm Soul Blush, which is one of, if not my favourite blush that I have ever owned. So it's this really beautiful, like natural, kind of bronzy, peachy colour, which is exactly what I want to wear on a day-to-day basis. It's not completely matte, it's not shimmery. You get loads of products in here, really good payoff. Cannot fault it. A product that is new to me but I have actually been using quite a lot is the MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shaped Contour Palette. So you get 6 different shades in here. That mirror's going to blind you, hang on. 6 different shades in here. You've got like highlighty colours. I actually use this as a blush, this kind of peachier one at the end, and then you've got bronzers and contours just on the end there. Really good pigmentation, really good price point for a palette like this. I think this one was about 30 quid for 6 really good shades. I can use every single one of these in here and I use this quite often. We then have the classic MAC Fix Plus. I use this to wet my beauty sponge, I use this to set my makeup, I use this to refresh my makeup, I use this to make shimmery eyeshadows appear more pigmented. I use this for everything. I must have gone through like 3 or 4 of these. This is one that I got in the Boots Best in Beauty box, and this is something that I'll always have in my collection because it's just got so many different uses to it. And then finally, what I think I properly fell in love with MAC for is their lipsticks. I only have 2 to show you today because I have been trying really hard to use all my matte lipsticks and I've done quite well. The 2 that I have are Velvet Teddy, which is obviously just a classic kind of natural shade, kind of beigey, pinky kind of colour. And then the ever so famous, I have this in a mini and I'm so happy I have this, Ruby Woo, which is in a retro. Both of these are matte formulas. This is a retro matte formula, Ruby Woo. Possibly the best red lipstick that I think has ever existed. It suits everybody, every skin tone. MAC do so well with like colour. So if you're looking for like an eyeshadow or a lipstick or a lip liner, I guarantee you MAC do it in whatever colour you could ever possibly want. Moving into slightly cheaper territory, Kiko I think is such an underrated makeup brand. They do my favourite face primer that has ever existed. This is the Kiko Matte Face Base, which is basically a dupe of a MAC primer, which is called the Prep and Prime Skin Refine Zone. So basically what this does is like a pore filling and mattifying primer in one. It's quite a gel consistency. You put it onto your skin and then it sets like an eyeshadow primer, but it means that your oils can't come through. It's too heavy for me to use every day, but on nights out, this is my ride or die. Kiko bronzers are my ride or die. They're the best bronzers that I have ever used. Their marble bronzer that they release with every collection, I think it's about £15. Get it. You need it. They smell like vanilla or they smell like chocolate. They are absolutely beautiful. This one I have here is not their marble bronzer. This is their maxi bronzer in Beige Storm from their Jelly Jungle collection, and this is what I've been wearing pretty much every single day. It's what I'm wearing today. Pans are massive, prices are great, cannot fault it. Kiko blotting papers, not something a lot of people talk about, but oily skin girls, you know you need them. So these are £6 and you get 100 in a pack. They've got soothing green tea in them. So for me, I find that if my skin's looking particularly red, it does actually help a little bit to kind of reduce the redness as well. Really good, like handbag friendly kind of thing to have. But what I properly fell in love with Kiko for was their mascaras, and particularly their mascara sale. So every so often Kiko do a £3.99 mascara sale where every single mascara that they have in the store is for £3.99. And I have two of my favourites here to show you today. However, I have tried and loved pretty much all of them. My favourite one is the Kiko Extra Sculpt Waterproof Mascara, which has the weirdest brush ever. It's like a weird kind of, I don't even know how you would describe that, but this gives me more volume than anything else that I have ever tried ever. It doesn't transfer, and it's actually, considering the brush is so large, it's so easy to apply and to use. They do it in a waterproof and a non-waterproof version, so it's absolutely fabulous. And then we have the Kiko Volume Attract Mascara, which is just like a standard kind of mascara brush there, but this is like really fluffy, really separating, and then gives you the volume as well. Love Kiko mascaras, love Kiko bronzers. I've tried some of their foundations. I really like their ethos. I've tried a few of their lipsticks. I love their nail polishes as well. I think they're just a really great brand at a really great price point, and they do often have sales on as well, so they're quite purse friendly as well. The next brand that I'm going to talk about is not really going to be a surprise to anybody, but it is TooFaced. TooFaced are obviously very famous for their eyeshadow palettes. However, for me, what I think TooFaced really excel in are their base products, like their base and their like powder products. So for me, I have the Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation and the Primed and Peachy primer, which I tried in a foundation review not that long ago. Have become absolute ride or dies for me. I think they are beautiful. This is such a nice foundation. You don't need to have oily skin to use this. It looks like you're not wearing anything. This is one of the best primers I've ever had. Peachy tint in it to kind of brighten up the skin tone. Mattifying, cooling, pore filling, does everything you need it to do. It's a more expensive brand, but I think you pay for the quality. My favourite product from Too Faced is their Natural Face palette, which I got I think about 9 months ago, and I have still kind of mullered it quite a little bit. So you get 6 different shades in there. So you get 2 bronzers, 2 highlighters and 2 blushes. For me, I generally tend to use a Satin Sheets or Starlight, doesn't really matter on a day-to-day basis. Pink Sand is my favourite blush in there, and then Sunny Honey is my favourite bronzer. This is the palette I use when I go travelling because I have absolutely everything that I need. I use this on my eyes, I use it on my face, I use it all the time. I think it's beautiful. And then obviously, I can't talk about Too Faced without talking about their eyeshadow palettes. For me, my favourite one is a limited edition, but this is the Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette. They have brought out another one this year that is quite similar, but it's just full of lovely kind of warm tones that for me just scream at like autumn pumpkin spice lattes, big jumpers, love it. A brand that you won't really have heard me talk about on my channel because it's something that I generally just use in my day-to-day life, actually, is Smashbox. For me, I really rate this brand, and I find myself reaching for their products quite a lot, particularly their Studio Skin 24-hour wear hydrating foundation. Possibly one of the longest lasting foundations on my skin, and I use this pretty much every day when I'm going to work. It lasts like ridiculously long time on my skin, and it doesn't split, it doesn't separate, loads of shades in it, it's great. I have this eyeshadow palette, which is the Cover Shot Major Metals eyeshadow palette, which I actually use quite a lot. I actually use it basically if I'm doing like really simple makeup look. What I'll do is I'll smash a bit of bronzer through the crease and then put any one of those shimmers on my lid and I'm good to go. But for me, Smashbox, I love their mascara and their eyeliner formulas. So I have 2 here to show you today. So for Smashbox, this is my ride or die like pencil. So this is their always on gel eyeliner. This is in the shade Fishnet. And it's literally just like a standard pencil. But for me, I put this on and it does not budge. Does not move, doesn't transfer, doesn't smudge, doesn't go anywhere. Absolutely brilliant for nights out. And then their full exposure mascara, which has got one of the biggest brushes I have ever seen on a mascara ever. But it's really good for giving you like massive volume, really good separation, fanned out lashes. So for me, if I'm needing like my eyeliner and my mascara to stay on all day, not budge, not flake, not transfer, this is the brand that I'm using. I just want to give an honourable mention to this brand because I only own one product from them, but it's the best money that I've ever spent on this product. And it's Hourglass actually. So this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 3 palette. They bring one out pretty much every year, but this is the one that I own, and I just think for the price that you pay, don't get me wrong, like this palette's like 70 quid, right? It's expensive, it's really expensive. But for me, the quality of the shadows is like, not shadow, the quality of the powders is like nothing else. I have never ever met bronzers that blend so seamlessly and blushes that just look so natural on the skin. It's one of the only highlighters that I have and I actually like. The face powders are beautiful, honestly. Like, it's an expensive brand, but for me, I would really say that the powder products for the skin are particularly worth the investment. If it's something that you can afford to purchase, I really would highly recommend that you do. A little bit cheaty from me there, but hey ho. The final brand that I think is definitely one of my favourite absolute makeup brands is Tarte, which is surprising considering how much I bashed them in the first ever video of this channel. For me, it's one of the brands that if you take the time to find the right products, the formulation is impeccable. The Found Sealer, I did a foundation first review of this not that long ago on my channel, maybe, I don't even know how long ago it was, but this is, on first impressions, definitely one of my top 5, top 3, possibly competing for my favourite foundation of all time. It is one of the most beautiful formulas. Lasts really well on the skin. Same with their creaseless concealer. I was really skeptical about these at first, but they lasted so well. They performed really well. The colour match was beautiful. It didn't split, didn't separate. So easy to apply. Honestly, cannot fault them. I really love Tarte mascaras. I have the Light Caramel Lashes here to show you today, which has been my everyday mascara now for quite a while, and I am very slowly but surely working my way through it. And as well, I couldn't not mention my favourite Tarte blush, which is the Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Exposed. For me, this is just such a classic shade that can be worn like every day. The staying power is phenomenal. Like, these do not budge, fade, nothing at all. Absolutely beautiful. Tarte can be quite an expensive brand. They can price their product kind of high. However, they do have an advantage over some of the other brands, which is partly why they have come into my top 5, which is every so often, I think it's every 6 months or so, they do a one-day sale where you, admittedly it's a curated selection of products, but it still gives you a good chance to try them. You get 7 products for £56. Now admittedly 2 of them are a bit naff because it's like a makeup bag and like a tool, but basically what you're paying is like £56 for 5 full-size products from Tarte, and you can get palettes in there, you can get full foundations, and some of the foundations are like 34 quid on their own. So that sale I would definitely recommend. I'll link my last video down in the description box for you guys that I did reviewing the Tarte one-day sale haul. But yeah, those are my top 5 makeup brands. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to turn the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads, and give this video a big thumbs up so more people can find it. Let me know what your favourite brands are down in the comment section. I know I've gone quite high end and quite expensive with my makeup brands. I was going to put L'Oreal in here, and I then changed my mind at the last minute and changed it to Tarte, purely because recently I find myself going and reaching for the Tarte products more often than I have the L'Oreal products. I am very much a drugstore girl at heart, very much a high street girl over high end. However, I cannot deny the formulations of these products and the way that they work on my skin. Maybe I'll do a separate video talking about my top 5 actual like high street brands, because Kiko itself is like not in like Boots or Superdrug. So let me know if that's a video that you guys would be interested in seeing. But other than that, I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.